to our relocation webinar, Transportation in the USA. My name is Ashley Wheatley. I am the Director of Relocation here at Worldwide HealthStaff Solutions, and we are so excited that you will be coming to the US to join us. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you have had or are having a great day. I'm very excited about our topic today. We're going to be talking about all the essentials you need to know about public transportation, getting a car, even preparing yourself for transportation before you come. So super excited to get into this topic today. First of all, I'd like to introduce our wonderful presenters that we have today. We have Ms. Molly Linehan and Ms. Sam Holka, who are our senior relocation coordinators. Together, they have brought over more than 600 families to the United States. So they are super knowledgeable on helping all of these families through their relocation journey. I am so excited to hear from them today. And all the support that they can give to you. But before we jump in, please jump in the chat, introduce yourself, and tell us if you know how to drive or not. We'd love to know that. And please kind of look at the chat throughout our conversation. We're going to be throwing questions at you. We'd love to learn a little bit more about you. All right, with that said, I'm going to turn the time over to Molly. Excited to hear what you got.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Just to start us off today in our Transportation in the U.S. webinar, I wanted to discuss a little bit about initial transportation. You know, one of the big things is when you're traveling to the United States upon your arrival date is how are you going to get to the airport to your initial accommodations, whether that be a hotel or your new apartment, temporary housing. You know, how are we going to get there initially? We have lots of great options. We have resources for you. I'm more than happy to get research done to find what the best transportation is going to be. You know, talking with your relocation coordinator is really going to help you prepare on what to expect. So, you know, if that's, you know, maybe renting a car is a great idea, or maybe a transportation service. There's Uber and Lyfts and all kinds of things that we're going to even jump into even deeper today as we go through our next slides. That being said, I just wanted to see, does anyone have anything to add to that, or I can jump us on to the next slide?
Yeah, just the only thing to add with your initial transportation, just like Molly said, I can't emphasize it enough. Please be working with your relocation coordinator. They're going to tell you those specific things that you need to know. And ask about it. Feel free to ask about it throughout any time in the process. We'll be able to work with you through that.
Thank you so much, Ashley. I'll jump us over to the next slide, and I'll send the time over to Sam to discuss car rentals.
Hi, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be in this webinar today with Ashley and Molly. I'm so excited to talk about transportation. I know how important it is and how stressful it can be to create that plan. So first, I'd like to talk about car rentals. I do feel like renting a car will be such a great benefit. Renting a car really gives you the freedom to get from the airport to your initial accommodation. I know that is the first question of transportation, is how am I going to get to my hotel or my permanent residence? Renting a car can also help you practice driving on the roads. I know that sometimes you're coming from a country where you drive on the opposite side. So practicing driving on the roads is great in a rental car before you get a car, if you would like. It also helps you explore your new area upon arrival. You can go to the grocery store, look at restaurants, churches, schools in your area, parks, and all of the community things that are in your new area. And then also it helps you get to work with no stress. You can get to work on time. You don't have to worry about anything setting you back. So we do feel like renting a car would be a wonderful, wonderful option. Does anyone have anything else to add about car rentals?
You know,
Yeah, thank you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Molly.
I was just going to say, I love your point on what you say about practicing on the roads and, getting adjusted to your new area. Sometimes a rental car is a great idea just to tell you what kind of vehicle you're going to want. Depending on where you are, if you're in a big city, you may want something a little bit more smaller and compact, easier to park, easier to get around on the small roads. But if you're going to a rural area and you live on a dirt road, you may want something a bit bigger and a little bit more to support you. So I love that you said that, Sam.
Yeah, I second that completely. The other thing with rental cars that are really nice for new arrivals to the U.S. is that you can get insurance with your rental company. You don't have to have outside insurance. Um, that's a huge benefit, and it's a decent price. It's usually not too bad, but it's just added on to your daily rate. Um, if you have a longer rental stay, or I say stay, but a rental booking, sometimes you can get discounts. So work with your relocation coordinator. They can give you some names of different car rental companies that you could use. There's also apps out there that do car sharing, different things like that. So we will get more into that. But turn it back over to you guys.
Thank you, Ashley and Molly. We will hop into international driver's license next. This is something that you can do before you come to the U.S. just to prepare to drive. You can obtain an international driver's license in the country that you're in, and your relocation coordinator can help you with how to obtain this international driver's license, but this will be a great benefit for you. Most international driver's licenses are valid for when you arrive in the U.S. for a period of time, just to help you get settled in, just so you're not rushed to get your U.S. driver's license, and so you can just settle in. Some states do require that you get an international driver's permit that allows you to use your international driver's license in the state that you're in. So all of these details to help you get this license and permit can be found with your relocation coordinator. They can help you with exactly how to apply and get this license.
Thank you so much.
Just to jump in a little bit with this, with your driver's license, you will need to have some form of international driver's license or permit if you'd like to go the route of getting a rental car. So that's super important to know. You will need that to be able to get a rental car. Every state is going to be very different, so you need to be looking into what those requirements are to see if rental car is an option for you as well. The other thing I can't emphasize enough is learning to drive in the United States can be very expensive. So if you can learn or take the opportunity to learn to drive before you come and get your international driver's license, you're going to save a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort here in the United States. So if you can do that first, you're just preparing yourself even more for the future.
All right, and then thank you, Ashley. I'm going to turn the next slide over to Molly about rideshare services.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm sure many of us here have heard of ride-sharing apps such as Uber and Lyft. They are very popular here in the United States. I'm sure all three of us here on this webinar have used them before. Now, there are areas, of more rural areas where these may be more limited, and we have great resources to be able to research this. But rideshare apps are a great option upon your arrival when you're still settling in. We just got here, in our hotel, we're settling in, waiting for socials to come in. And this is a great way just to get around, maybe go and do a meet and greet with your employer, go down to the local grocery store. And this is also a great option for initial transportation if you need that from the airport as well. These are very easy apps you download on your phone, and you can request them as long as you have internet service, which I know all the airports do, most hotels, restaurants, coffee shops. There's plenty of public stores here in the United States that will have internet for you to use should you need to be able to request one of these. And we have a lot of support to help you, be able to figure out how to use these. Their websites are great, and we have step-by-step instructions that we can send over should you ever need those for Uber or Lyft. Anything to add to those, ladies?
I'd just like to say that when I've been visiting a new city and I don't have a car, I have used many rideshare services, and I think they are wonderful just for getting to short distances, especially around the city. They're really helpful for where you need to go quickly. So I just would like to relate to that. I have used many and I love them.
They're a great backup plan. If even if you decide to go with the rental car option, or someone's picking you up or anything like that, it's always good to just have these downloaded as a backup. It can be your first option as well, but it's a great way to say, oh gosh, I really got to get to the grocery store right now. I don't have a way to get there. I have it downloaded. I can jump on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm going to jump over to our next slide, which is just a little bit of information about this wonderful website. It's called Rome to Rio. Now, this site will actually tell you every possible way to get from one destination to another destination. This is actually a great way to see if Uber may be available in your area, because if there's Ubers available and if that's something that they commonly see, those will show on approximate pricings, approximate time that it would take to get from one destination to another. This also shows you if there's bus routes available in your area. This is a great way to check that. Now, I will say that public transportation, and we'll get into that later, is more limited here in the United States, but this is a great way to see ahead of time if that's going to be a possibility for you. And this also I love the timelines that this gives you to get from one destination to another. I think that that's a big thing that our candidates are looking at. If I stay here, if I get an apartment here, how long will it take me to get to work, right? That's a big question. So I love Rome to Rio. I use it on my personal trips and vacations. And I love that it gives you that estimated pricing so that you can get an idea ahead of time about what's a good saving amount for transportation while I'm using these temporary options upon arrival.
Yeah, I jump on that. I used it on a trip recently when I went up to New York City. I put it on all the different places I wanted to go, and I think I took like 4 different means of transportation, but it saved me a ton of money. So I can jump on the train and the subway and the bus, and you're definitely going to see it be super helpful in the bigger cities. Now, in rural areas, it's going to be a little more limited, but it will at least give you the options that you have in and around the area.
Absolutely. I could not agree more with that. Thank you so much for that input, Ashley. I will jump over to our next slide and pass some time back over to Sam.
Thank you, Molly. I love the connection that Rome to Rio has with public transportation. I feel like I personally have a lot of nurses who want to use public transportation, but they don't know the routes, they don't know how to go about it, the times it'll take to get to work. So that is a great resource if you want to use public transportation. Public transportation is available in the U.S., but it is very limited compared to some other countries where public transportation is the main way to get around. Some major cities do have buses or subway systems that you can use, but most of the time, getting from one area to the next will require the use of a car. So I advise looking into your area, doing a little bit of research to see what type of area you'll be in, if it's rural, if it's in a big city where there is public transportation. So before you decide that you want public transportation as an option, I would really research your area, and please feel free to reach out to your relocation coordinator as they can look into this area with you. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming to look into your new area and know how to navigate that. So It's just really important to have that plan instead of going into thinking that you'll use public transportation, but then it ends up not working out. So having a plan and working with your coordinator is the best option for public transportation. Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
Yeah, just kind of looking to the chat, we had a question that kind of talked about how early you need to apply for your U.S. permanent license. You will have to get a social security number before you can apply for your driver's license here in the United States, and that's going to arrive 2 to 4 weeks post arrival. So you definitely want to know what the public transportation looks like in your area for those first few weeks while you're waiting for that social to arrive, so that you can apply. That's another benefit of the international driver's license that can allow you to drive from the get-go, from your arrival date. So these are all things that you want to be discussing about your individual state, your individual circumstance with your coordinator, because they can help you do the research to know what's in that area. Always, 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 the more prepared you come, the more easy your transition will be.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ashley. Those are all great points. Now I will jump over to the partnerships and resources that Worldwide has for all of you. These are such great resources for transportation with such great companies. So they help you buy a car, receive auto loans, and then just more resources on how to obtain your driver's license in your assigned state. So first we'll talk about International Auto Source. International Auto Source is a resource that you can access before you arrive in the U.S. They help you buy a car. Before you get to the U.S., they'll have everything set up for you so that once you arrive in the U.S., you'll have a rental car before you obtain your car that you bought, which is really nice, so that you'll have an initial form of transportation upon arrival. The second one is Advantial. They help you with a auto loan. You will have to have your social security number first before you access this auto loan, but this is a great option if you want to buy a car, but you don't necessarily want a car right away upon arrival. And then lastly, we have a driver's license requirements resource. This resource is amazing. It goes through every single state in the United States, and it goes through all of the requirements, all of the pages that you'll need to go to get your driver's license in your assigned state. This is extremely helpful for you. It makes things very simple instead of overwhelming. And then, of course, with all of these resources, I know they can be very overwhelming to understand. So please, please do not hesitate to reach out to your relocation coordinator. That is what they're there for. They can go through every single question that you have about these resources and really just help you in understanding how to apply and understanding the process. So we are so excited to help you.
Thank you so much, Sam. That's great. We take a lot of time and effort and do a lot of research into these partnerships just so that we can curate a great experience for you guys when you get here and make sure that you're set up for success. Like Sam had mentioned, International Auto Source is someone that you can reach out to before your arrival in the United States. And I just want to say that I don't think it would hurt to reach out just to start a discussion with them. Maybe that's not the best route for you to take, buying a car through them. But I think getting that information and having an understanding, it may be a perfect solution. So I don't think that it hurts to reach out just to inquire. And that goes the same with Advantial as well. They are a great auto loan partner that we have. I'll walk you through every step to get it and how to use it. But it doesn't hurt just to reach out and see what they're offering you. You don't have to accept anything that you feel isn't going to be best for you. No option is better than the other. It's very unique to your case and your situation. And our team is here to help you find out what's best for you and give you that information about how to use these properly and get in touch with someone to really help, that specialist in that field to help you with all of your important questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly, and thank you, Sam. The only thing I would add to this is that Worldwide is always working on developing more and more resources for our candidates. We have more besides this. These are just the ones that we wanted to highlight with you today. Please work with your relocation coordinator. They're going to be able to tell you the pros and cons. You can tell them your circumstance. Now, we can't offer advice in the sense that we'll say, yes, you should go with this option, but we can give you all the information so you can make an informed decision. Just know we are there to help, and that is super important to us, that you have all the information to make the best decision for you, your family, and your transition to the U.S.
Thank you both. I just second that. We're so here to help. We want you to be successful, and we want to give you all the details necessary so that you feel comfortable and confident in driving here in the U.S. With that being said, we'll go to our Q&A. So feel free to
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
We are so excited. This is usually our favorite part of our presentations and our webinars is this Q&A session. Please feel free to take a moment, go to the question and answer section, put in any of the questions that you have. I'm going to jump off and I'm going to read through your questions. And unfortunately, we won't be able to get to all of them, but we will do our best to answer as many as we can. So I will go over there and I will read them out to Megan and Sam. I'm sorry, Molly and Sam. My goodness, silly me. So our wonderful presenters, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. So please go over there. I see some people put some in the normal chat too, so we'll just see if we can answer some of those as well. All right. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so just a test. Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So first question to kind of come to the group, it says, is my driver's license in my current country enough to get a license there, or do I also need to get an international driver's license?
So your license in your current country, it really depends on many factors. Where are we going into the United States? What is that state's requirements for driving in that state? Every state has their own rules and regulations there. So our first thing that we're going to start researching is what is that state's requirements. As you had seen in that previous slide, we do have a document curated to all the states in the U.S. So that you can research these and see if that will be a viable option for you. And if they require that international driver's license permit, then we have a resource to help you with getting that as well. But it'll really depend on where your current license is, where your current driver's license is. So what country do we currently have that in, and what state are we going into, and what are their requirements for driving?
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. That was wonderful. All right, the next question that we have is, if you don't want to drive from the airport, can your company arrange transportation, or must you arrange that through your case manager or relocation coordinator?
So with that, it really, we have lots of options. Your relocation coordinator is going to be the best one to speak about, so that we can tell you exactly what to expect. If we need to arrange transportation, what's the best way to arrange it? And sometimes specific places that you're going into, specific cities, specific airports will have, the best means of transportation. So we can really even curate that to where you are going and say, I see you are flying in here. These are what I see are the best options for transportation once you land at the airport. And I think these will be the best for you. But your relocation coordinator is the one who's going to really set you up with that expectation, so that you're prepared the second you step foot here.
Awesome. Thank you, Molly. The only thing I would add to that as well is every employer is going to have a different relocation package. So again, speaking with your relocation coordinator to know what is offered to you. No matter what, we're going to help you to be able to get that initial transportation. We can tell you if it's your employer is going to pick you up, or if they're going to reimburse you, or give you the tools so that you can help book it through all the resources that we just talked about today. So remember to ask about your relocation package. We're going to definitely tell you about it, but make sure that you're talking to your coordinator about that. All right. Let's see. So the next one, all right. What is your greatest advice with driving in the United States?
I love this question. I get this a lot. I would say just practice, practice, practice. I feel like that is my greatest advice, especially if you're driving on the opposite side of the road. That can take some real getting used to. So I would say just practice in your own country right now, or if like I said, if you get a rental car, just really try to practice in a parking lot somewhere off of the street that you can just get familiar with the car, get familiar with your area, and also I would say get familiar with how what your area is like, if there's lots of freeways, if there's lots of just rural dirt roads. I would really just research your area and see, and so that way you have an expectation of how your driving experience will be.
Absolutely. I could not agree with that more, Sam. Be very aware of what is happening while you're in the vehicle. Pay attention to, all of your surroundings. And even when you are not the person driving, especially when you're still learning to drive here in the United States, pay attention to what that driver's doing. Maybe you do take an Uber upon your arrival. What is that Uber driver doing? And how can you learn from what they are doing there? Now, I will also say that we do have a great resource. It's a website where you can practice taking the driver's test for that state or whatever state that you are assigned to and going into. And sometimes that's just a confidence boost just to show you how much you do know about driving. Or maybe that shows you what things that we can start working on and things to pay more attention to while you're settling in here. So if you ever need that resource, again, please reach out to your relocation coordinator.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you both. We've got a few questions here that are in regards to car seats. I know, Molly, you just had a situation that you were helping a family with car seats. But yeah, they'd love to know your advice on what they need to do with bringing a car seat. Can Uber or Lyft give you a car seat? Anything there?
Absolutely. That is a fantastic question. Now, I will say that if you're able to come with a car seat, I never think that it's a bad idea. That way you have that already. You have it just in case. Let's say you do, have an urgent, I need to go to the grocery store right now. If I order an Uber who doesn't have a car seat, I have my own, which is fantastic. However, there are lots of transportation service that can offer you a car seat. This does have to be done in advance. That way they can make sure that this is secured and they have a big enough vehicle to be able to make sure that that is safe and secure for you and your family. I also want to mention that we do have this great company we are partnered with. They're called BabyQuip. And this is a baby equipment rental company. This is with individual providers who have a list of all kinds of baby equipment, not just car seats. But if you need a car seat, those can be great people to reach out to see about renting them. That way you don't have to buy one right away while you're still settling in, making the best decisions for yourself, so you don't have to travel over with it. You'll talk with that provider directly when you are interested in renting something. You can discuss, can you meet me at the airport so that you can drop it off there. That way I have this upon arrival. Or maybe you don't need it right upon the airport because you're going to get a transportation service, but you will need it later down the line while you're settling into your new location. They can also assist with that. So I think that is a great resource to use if you're coming over with children. Not only do they do car seats, but they do all kinds of baby equipment. So maybe lighten your load on your travels.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Next question that we've had a few people also ask, what if they don't want a brand new car? What if they want a secondhand car or a used car? Do one of our partnerships help with that? What does that process look like?
That's a fantastic question. I will say right in the beginning of this question that I personally also have a secondhand car. That was the best decision for me in my personal situation in life. And Advantial, the banking company that we are partnered with who can help with an auto loan, these auto loans can be used on secondhand cars. You can also discuss this with dealerships that you're going to, see what recommendations that they have in order to secure the best or make the best financial decision for yourself. There are many great used car dealerships here in the United States. I'll tell you that I got mine from a used Honda dealership, which was really nice. I got some benefits for using the dealer. They helped me with my loan process, and I got it done within a day. So I really enjoyed that, and I completely understand the need of wanting a second car. And I don't think that is a bad idea at all. And Advantial is a great company to help with in terms of loans if you need that.
Awesome. Sam, would you add anything to that?
I think everything that Molly said was great. International Auto Source, just to give more information on that, they generally do offer newer or brand new cars. So just to differentiate between those two, International Auto Source offers newer cars. Advantial can help you with an option if you want a used car or a secondhand car. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I would add in one thing too as well with Advantial. You're gonna need to look for a car that's in the state that you're living in, and that's just a good thing to know. Don't look outside of other states. That might be a little bit more difficult to get a loan. Now, in all of these cases, the loan itself will require a social security number. Just keep that in mind. That is the lifeblood of a lot of things in the United States. So make sure you're prepared for your first few weeks with means of how you want to get around. And again, continue to work with your relocation coordinator. All right, our time is almost up. So I have two more questions. The one question says, when do we get to communicate with our employer? Is it before our arrival to the U.S. or is it upon arrival?
So sometimes every case is different. Sometimes your employer will reach out before your arrival just to connect with you, get to know you. And then upon arrival, your employer should be in contact with you very shortly, and they will connect with you to start onboarding tasks while you're waiting for your social security number or license. And they will just get to know you, start to connect with you, and like I said, give you onboarding tasks for you to complete.
Absolutely. That is, I would say that's exactly correct. And your relocation coordinator, again, they are your biggest resource during this transition period, and they can give you a full expectation of when your employer will be reaching out or when to expect that, so that you know ahead of time as well.
Awesome. Thank you both. All right, the last question that we have so many wonderful questions. I wish I could get to all of them. But this one says, I am not assigned a relocation coordinator as of yet, but I'd like to get access to the test car driving website. In the meantime, what can I do?
That's a great question. Just because you aren't connected with a relocation coordinator doesn't mean that you can't relay our relocation questions that you guys have. I understand that this is a very big part of your immigration journey, and relaying that to your case manager and making them aware, they can connect you with our team. They also have these resources, so oftentimes they can give you those as well so that you have them. But if they come to our team stating that their candidate is in need of something or has questions about something, they will come to us to ensure that it is answered for you. We're happy to touch base at any time. That way you're feeling confident in what to expect in coming over to the United States for the most successful transition you can have.
And I second that. I agree with Molly. I love this question because it shows that you want to start thinking about these things earlier, and that is what we encourage, is to think about these things even before you reach us, so that you, like Molly said, that you're confident and that you're knowledgeable about all the resources that we have.
Awesome. Well, Molly, Sam, thank you so much for all this wonderful information that you've given us today. Before we end, I just wanted to give you a chance if there's any extra advice or comments that you'd like to share with us.
I just want to say that I really enjoyed talking about this. I know that this is a topic that can be stressful for many, but I really just want to emphasize that as a relocation coordinator myself, all I want is for you to really feel confident and successful with driving. Excuse me. And our relocation coordinators are very, very passionate about helping you in this relocation process, and we never want you to feel alone or like you don't have enough information. So please continue to reach out with any and all questions.
And my little piece of advice for everyone, just to add to what Sam has said, is schedule a call with your relocation coordinator. We all have links in our signatures to our calendars so that you can schedule time to discuss these things that are really stressing you out. You know, it's a very big part of your immigration. And sometimes talking face to face with someone is an easier way to understand the information that we're giving you, as well as relay the things that are really stressing you out, that we can help calm you down, that we can give you reassurance that our team is here to assist you and support you every step of the way.
I love that. Thank you both so much. Maybe you will have Molly or Sam as your coordinator. And we're one of our other amazing coordinators that we have on our team. We really have a great team. And they are very, very eager to meet you and work with you. So with that, again, thank you, Molly. Thank you, Sam. Remember to like us on Facebook. Facebook is where you're going to encounter updates, where you're going to get our new relocation webinars or other webinars with your case management team, legal team, all of that, all on there. You're also going to get current announcements. We have an upcoming webinar next Wednesday that's going to talk about one of our new states webinars. It's going to talk about Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia, and Michigan. So if you're going to those states, go check it out. But it's also, it's a series that we've started that you're going to be able to interact and know a little bit more about the places that you're going. We also have our World Tour going on right now. The 19th and the 20th of June, we will be in Kenya. So go check it out. Make sure to like the page. We put it into the chat. So feel free to check us out there. We also have a great Refer a Friend program. If you are a current candidate within our system, go ahead and go to this link, send your friends. If they get accepted, you could earn up to $250, which is pretty incredible. So feel free to jump on, like our page, refer a friend, and then join us on our next relocation webinar. Thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure talking with all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye for now.
Bye.